What's up, everybody? What's up, ladies? Welcome to Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Now, hopefully, this StreamYard is porting over correctly, because I'm porting it over from my main channel, from my Cafe de Paris channel, and I'm porting it over. So hopefully it's porting over correctly. I've never done this before, so hopefully StreamYard has ported the video over correctly to the Mocha's Ladies Lounge. So I think it is. It looks like it is. So I'm going to go right on into today's topic. So I thought it was imperative that I did a live stream pertaining to this particular type of issue. This is an issue, unfortunately, that a lot of women are not taking serious. They're not taking their well-being. They're not taking their safety. They're not taking their health seriously. It's very imperative that women understand why the crime rates are so high when it comes to domestic violence, why the crime rates are so high when it comes to women being murdered, when it comes to women being killed. And truth be told, is the majority of men that are killing and murdering women, the majority of them are struggle dusties. Most of them are struggle dusties, meaning they are men that are already struggling. They are men that are already down on their luck. They are men that already are overwhelmed with too much responsibilities that they really can't handle. And as a woman, you have to be able to have discernment. You have to be able to understand that if you are dealing with the man, and the man that you are dealing with, he has financial issues. He has a lot of responsibilities. He's not making a lot of money. If you're dealing with the man that's already in the struggle, and then you turn around and you tell him you're pregnant, you turn around and tell him, you need him to help you be responsible for something he created. A lot, in this case, in this day and age, we're dealing with a lot of men who pretend to be alpha males, but when it comes down to responsibilities, that is when that beta male syndrome kicks in. And that is when you see the other side of them that you did not know that was there. So I've been covering many, many stories on my other platform, Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where I have discussed three different, well, not three, I believe it was more than that, but I've discussed several stories in which women have gotten pregnant from men who found out the hard way that these men did not want to be responsible for the children they helped created. So they killed these women. They murdered these women. And this is happening a lot. It's becoming a trend. It's becoming a constant trend. The struggle dusties are the ones that are going around here that are murdering women. They're killing women. Once a woman comes to them and tell them, hey, I'm pregnant, I'm carrying your child. So it's been different stories in which I've discussed this. Just to give y'all a little familiarity for those of you who have forgot some of the stories I have discussed. We'll talk about the pregnant Georgia mother that was killed by a married Fort Bragg soldier. She was dealing with the man in the military. Her name goes by the name 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. And she was dealing with a married military man who was already married and already had a child. And when she let him know that she was expecting and carrying his child, they discovered the 29-year-old, she was suffering from gunshot wounds, in a bullet-riddled car off the side of Highway 18 at the time. So she was 33 weeks pregnant, and she had been followed by the perpetrator before she was shot at, and she was run off the road and left to die. She was transported to the hospital where she succumbed to her injuries. Her unborn baby also did not survive. So basically, they ended up finding out, that it was the boyfriend, of course, the married man, Mr. Alonzo Dargan Jr., which ended up being the killer. He was a military soldier, part of the U.S. Army. Go figure. He ended up being taken into custody once the evidence had been led to him. He was an active duty soldier, and he grew up in Trope County and knew Rare from school, basically. So he knew this female back in the day, and he was the father for unborn child. So the fact that she had went to him and told him that she was carrying his child while he was married, he was not going to man up and deal with it. So instead, he decided to murder her. He decided to kill her. He decided to take her life. And this is just one of many stories. There was another woman as well. Her name was, let me see, Siobhan Robinson. Robinson was found dead with 3 of her children nearby. She was 30 years old. Yeah, I think she was close to 30 years old. Police said 30-year-old Andre Daniels was taken into custody on that particular Thursday, and this all occurred in Maricopa County Jail. And he was charged with first-degree murder. And they found this young lady dead in her apartment. Come to find out, she had been dead for several days. Surveillance video showed Daniels entering Robinson's apartment on May 12th and leaving less than 20 minutes later. No other entries or exits occurred at that apartment. Relatives said she was repeatedly stabbed to death while her 2 toddlers and a 4-year-old baby were in the apartment. Her 4th child was staying with a friend at the time of the incident. According to the court documents, co-workers told police Robinson's 4-year-old baby was fathered by an unknown, once again, married man named Andre. The father of one of the older children, said Andre didn't want Robinson to have the baby. Google searches obtained during search warrants show Robinson had been looking into applying for child support information about paternity tests. Documents say Robinson told Daniel she intended to collect child support from him and refused to abort the child. Cell phone data placed Daniels at the victim's apartment along with Robinson's phone, following the same path before it was turned off. Daniels reportedly denied killing Robinson, but said he went to her apartment to collect DNA samples. Police said Daniels had served time in prison in the past for kidnapping and had prior arrests for aggravated assault and armed robbery. And not to make things much worse, he already had 4 children who he was struggling paying child support from. It's been several stories in which this has been an ongoing issue. Big ups to everybody into the chat room. So I say all that to say this. As a woman, you have to have what's called common sense and you have to have discretion. Whenever you meet a man that already has responsibilities and you see that he's struggling to take care of the responsibilities he has, the last thing you need to do is add on any responsibilities to what he already has. Now, I'm starting to notice the pattern is that most of these men who have killed these women are women who were, 1, married. So let's pause. Let's pump the brakes there. Let's talk about these married men. Anytime as a woman you decide to get involved with a married man, you are definitely playing Russian roulette with your future, and you're playing Russian roulette with your safety, your well-being, and definitely your child's future. First of all, getting involved with a married man has never been a good idea. And it's unfortunate that a lot of women still have not learned. We are constantly seeing these type of stories where women are getting murdered by married men, or either married men are not being actively involved in a child's life. We've never heard anything pleasant come out of dealing with married men. There's not too many women who can say that dealing with a married man or having a child from a married man has been pleasant. Not too many women can say that, and not too many women are going to say that. You have to realize that whenever you get involved with the married man, you have already put you and your child at a disadvantage, due to the fact that even though this is a grown-ass man and he knew what he was doing when he was getting involved with you, he knew that he was married, he knew he already had a wife, he had a family, he was aware of all of this, and yet he still made the ultimate decision to mess with you. You have to keep in mind, at the end of the day, you are going to be the one that's going to get the raw deal. Because if push comes to shove, he can always go back home. He can always go back home, whether his wife decides to stay with him or divorces him. He always has something to fall back on. It's never been a good idea of being a single woman, especially not being a married woman, getting involved with the married man. Because basically, the fact that this man is already committed and has a family, you're never really going to get what you want out of this man. Because now, see, it's fine when these dudes are smashing you and they're able to have sex with you as much as they want, as often as they want. But once you come up pregnant, that takes all the excitement, that takes all the fun out of them smashing you, because now they have to come to the reality that this is another child, which means this is another bill. This is another financial obligation. This is a whole nother human being that he's going to have to be responsible for. And truth be told, I'm not saying that we should empathize with married men who decide to go step out on their wives and raw dog other females, and not and we should take it easy on them because they were married men. But what I am saying is that you, as the woman, you're going to be the one left holding the bag, because once these men find out that you're pregnant, they're going to jump ship. But what's going on is now, truth be told, you don't know what type of man you're dealing with. Some of these men are not just walking away anymore. They're actually killing women. They are murdering women, because now they know once you get pregnant with a child, they know the power is out of their hands. They know that once they get a woman pregnant, that woman has the ultimate power now. She has the power to go check out child support. She has the power to get to make him be financially obligated for something through the system. Not only that, she has the power to call his wife and tell his wife, hey, let you know I am pregnant with your husband's child. Your husband don't want nothing to do with me. He knows he's up against a lot. Once a married man gets a mistress or gets an outside chick pregnant, he knows that now all power is out of his hands. And when you're dealing with a struggle, Dusty, a man that's already financially tied into a situation, he already has financial responsibilities and obligations, because they know they can't do anything about what the woman wants. Basically, as a woman, when you become pregnant with a child, you don't have to abort that child, even if he's paying you to abort that child. Even if he's trying to convince you or manipulate you into aborting that child. These men know that once they get a woman pregnant, that woman has the power to either ruin his life or to not ruin his life. She can ruin his life by continuing with the pregnancy, going through with the pregnancy, not aborting the child, carrying the child for 9 months. Now, once the child is here, now she's going to child support to collect child support. Not only that, now that she's got your child and has your seed, now she has evidence. She has valid evidence that she can prove to your wife, your fiance, that you were actually messing around on that fiance or that wife. Because if that child looks anything like you, or if she gets the DNA on that child and she can produce receipts, there's nothing you can tell your wife. There's nothing you can tell your fiance to get out of that lie. You know what I mean? Once a child is yours, once a side chick, once an outside chick can prove that a child belongs to you, that pretty much destroys your credibility. You know your marriage is gone. You know your income is gone. And a lot of these guys know that. And so instead of manning up and dealing with the responsibilities that they created, they are killing these women. They are killing them. They're getting rid of them, because it's the fact of them knowing, now she got me. She got me to where I can't do nothing about it. And it makes them feel defeated. And most of the time, you have some of these men, they are narcissists. They are narcissists. They're used to being in control. They're used to dominating. They're used to manipulating women. So the moment they get in a situation where they can't dominate the woman, especially if the woman is calling the shots, they're telling the woman, well, you better get an abortion. You better get rid of this child, because I don't want nothing to do with it. And she says, no, I'm not getting rid of this child. I'm having this baby. Whether you want me to have this baby or not, I'm going to follow through with this pregnancy. When you tell a struggle Dusty, a man who's already struggling, who already got child support, got children from other relationships, married, when you tell a man that's already in a struggle dust situation that you are going to make him own up, that you are going to make him accountable, that you are going to make him pay up. When you put a struggle Dusty in the corner, you got him back into a corner. And what you're going to make him do something, you're going to make him be responsible, and it's not in him to be responsible, he'll kill you first. And this is the reason why I am doing this content, because women need to understand you have to pay attention to the red flags, because a lot of stuff that we go through as women, a lot of it could be avoided if we would pay attention to the red flags. Everything that we go through is not always a man's fault. Everything that we go through as women is not always because a man has lied to us or a man has deceived us. The truth of the matter is, a lot of us as women, we believe what we want to believe. We see things for how we want to see it. We overlook the red flags. And when things go left, or something, or you find out you done got involved with a psychopath, you done got involved with a narcissist. Now, if you blessed to live to tell the story, now you're in a culture shock because you're trying to phantom. You can't understand. You can't put the pieces together. Also, for anybody who's coming in the chat, I did put the link to the bottom. So if you would like to join, you're more than welcome. If you want to add any input to what the topic is going into, the link is already to the bottom. You're more than welcome to do that. So this is what I mean by paying attention to the red flags. You have to pay attention to the red flags. Whenever a man is already financially in over his head, for instance, you meet a man and he's already paying excessive child support. You meet a man that already has 3-4 children from 3-4 different baby mamas. If he already has to pay child support to women he's not with, you might want to be very careful about letting this dude impregnate you. Not only that, if he's consistently complaining about paying child support, if you've been dealing with if you take the time to really deal with a man for a while before you sexually get involved with him, before you get so comfortable to the point to where you don't feel like you have to wear birth control, you don't feel like you got to wear condoms, if you really kick it with a dude for a while, you will really get to see his situation fully. And that is one advice that I suggest for a lot of women. You really need to take the time to get to know these dudes before you let them smash. Because you need to know what type of situation he's in. If he's already got child support, he has a low income job, he's struggling paying bills, he's struggling paying the water bill, the light bill, utilities, he doesn't have a car, or let's say he does have a car, but he's behind on the payments. He's living with his mama, or he's living with his baby mama, or he's gone from apartment to apartment. He's sleeping different places. He don't have his own stable place to live. He's either living with somebody, live with his mama or his grandmama. All of this is red flags that the last thing you need to do is get pregnant from a man who's already struggling. If he could barely take you out to eat, y'all barely been able to go out on dates, or you've been kicking it with this dude long enough, he's been making you aware of his struggles. He's telling you, I got to pay my probation officer every month. Child support is garnishing XX amount of money out of my check before I even get to spend my check. If a man is sharing his struggles with you, he's making his struggles clear, why in the world would you feel comfortable getting pregnant with him? Why would you feel comfortable? having a child from him. When he's already, you see him struggling. You see his car broke down. He hasn't been able to afford to put it in the shop. Or, like I said, he don't even have a car. You got to pick him up, drop him off. I cannot even begin to imagine, tell you how many women I know got pregnant from guys who they knew was already struggling. I can't even begin to imagine, tell you women who done got pregnant from men who already got too many kids. I can't even begin to imagine to tell you how many women that got pregnant from men who were married, already had a wife, and already had kids. And yet they still decide to get pregnant from this Negro. I can't even begin to imagine to tell you women who have chosen got pregnant from men who got long, extensive criminal history, criminal records, where he's not able to get a job, a legitimate job, because he's been in and out of prison system for so many years. Women know what type of dudes they're getting involved with. They see the red flags, and yet they will still lay there comfortably and let these dudes shoot up the club. I can't understand it. And what tends to happen is, especially when you meet a struggle Dusty that is already mentally off his rocker, the last thing he's going to do is take accountability. He will snuff and take you out. And it has become an ongoing trend, an ongoing pattern. When I was working at a correctional facility, if I can count on my finger how many men enter in that jail because of physically assaulting a woman who they could not make do what they wanted them to do. You know how many men have been locked up for strangulation, for strangling a woman, choking a woman out? We have a lot of inmates coming to the facility for strangulation. You have a man, you have so many men out here who don't have a problem putting their hands around a woman's neck and choking her out. All because he told her she better get an abortion, she better get rid of child, and she said, I'm not getting rid of nothing. So, okay, you're not going to get rid of the child, I'm going to get rid of you. So, it's imperative that you understand as a woman, the last thing a struggle Dusty wants is for another woman to tell him she's going to make him be responsible for something that he does not want to be responsible for. Now, truth be told, should he be responsible? Absolutely. I think whenever a man and a woman both agree, they both consent to have unprotected sex together, I strongly believe both of them, yes, both of them do need to be responsible. But when you're dealing with a struggle Dusty, he's not going to own his part. Now, the trend that I'm noticing with these struggle Dusties who are murdering women, most of them are married men. If they're not married, they are in a relationship. And what tends to happen is when the side chick or the coleslaw, whatever, says, I'm pregnant, I'm having your child, he automatically sees black because now he knows he done got himself in some deep shit. As I said earlier, now he knows, okay, this is another child he's going to have to add to his child support bill. Now, there's 4 different stories that I have covered in my archives on my other channel, Mocha's Cafe de Paris. I have spoken on 3 different struggle dust stories where 4 of these men, all 4 of them were already in relationships. 2 of them was already married. The other 2 was in a relationship. So when they're outside, when they side chicks came to them saying, I'm pregnant with your child, for one, the first thing that comes to their mind, like I said, okay, this is another bill. It's another child I have to be responsible for. Two, the next thing that comes to the mind, now I'm going to have to admit to my wife, my girlfriend, that I've been cheating on her this whole time. Because if there's not a child involved, you can easily lie. A man has that advantage to lie. If a child was not produced out the situation, he could lie and say, I ain't never been with her. We ain't never been together. I don't know what that woman talking about. It's not, he can pretty much lie his way out of it. But once a child is involved, he knows, damn, she got me. Don't let her have a DNA test with receipts that proves that he's the father of that child. Him knowing that he's gonna have to be responsible for the child. Now he got to tell his wife or his fiance what he did. A struggle, Dusty, knowing all of what he's up against. The first thing his wicked mind is going to tell him, you got to take this woman out. I'm going to have to get rid of her. I'm going to have to snuff her out. I got to take her out. That's how some of these guys think. This is the generation we're living in, y'all. Now, I'm not saying all men have this issue, but that's why I'm saying, as women, y'all got to be more careful. Y'all are going around here letting these dudes smash. Y'all letting these dudes impregnate y'all. And you really don't know the mental psyche of how these men think. You don't know if he's crazy. You don't know if he got psychological issues. Because some of these guys are very charming. Not everybody shows that they're psychopaths. It's not always evident that you're dealing with a narcissist or a psychopath. But in many cases, a lot of these women are seeing red flags. Pay attention. Not only pay attention to his struggle, pay attention to his anger management. Does he manage anger well? When he gets mad, how does he handle anger? Does he punch the wall when he gets mad? Does he cuss up and want to fight? Is he combative when he gets angry? Pay attention to a man's anger. Is he the kind of man when his back is up against the wall, does he know how to communicate effectively? Or is he the kind of man when he feels like things ain't going his way, he's punching walls, he's cussing, he's lashing out, he's hitting on you? Simple red flags. How does he cope with anger? How does he cope when things don't go his way? Is he verbally abusive? How has he treated women from his past? Did he beat up on any of his baby moms before you got with him? Did he physically fight any of his ex-girlfriends? Does he have a record of fighting women, of domestic violence, of putting his hands on women? If he does, the last thing you want to do is get pregnant from him. The last thing you want to do is try to force this man. And the worst thing is to threaten this man. Now, I read all 4 different stories. All of these women, they threaten these men. They threaten them as to what they was going to do. You can't threaten a struggle Dusty. You threaten a struggle Dusty, and he knows he's already struggling. He feels like you challenging him, you cornering him. He's going to kill you. And I hate to say it as nonchalantly like that, but he's going to kill you, especially if this man is already psychologically damaged. Just like you got a lot of women out here that are damaged goods, that are psychologically damaged. You have some men out here that are psychologically damaged. They cannot deal with life. They cannot deal with responsibilities. You got some men, no matter how hard it get, they're going to stand up in it. They're going to be a man about it. They're going to take the punches. They're going to find a way to deal and cope, even if it's going to cost them some money, even if it's going to cost them some time. If they got to work 2-3 jobs, they're going to fight. They're going to keep it moving. They're going to stand up through it. And you got other men like the struggle Dusties, they're going to cower it out. They will kill a woman first before they go get a second job and pay for their responsibilities and deal with the consequences. So anyway, I just want to give y'all a little intake on this, why struggle dusties are murdering women. Women, y'all got to be very careful, because at this point, a lot of the times we see the red flags. It's just that you are so attracted to this man, or you want a child so bad, or this man is married, or he has a woman, so you're willing to do whatever it takes to be with him at any cost. But the thing about it is, you cannot prepare for how it's going to cost you. And in this case, it has cost several women their lives. A lot of women have died behind struggle dusties. And let me tell you something, struggle dusties come on all different levels, okay? Struggle dusties are not just dirty, dingy, homeless men standing in the corner in front of the liquor store with a brown paper bag. Struggle dusties could be married. Struggle dusties could be successful. Struggle dusties could have, money. A struggle dusty is a struggle dusty. So make sure y'all are very mindful. Please use discernment. Please use your best judgment. You see a man is already struggling. He already got a lot of child support. He already got a wife. He already got a family. You got to protect yourself. It's not about what he knew what he was getting into. He didn't want to wear no condom. He took it upon himself to not wear protection. You got to protect yourself, because you don't want to very well end up like one of these young ladies in a situation who get involved with men who don't want to be men, and now that it's time to pay up, taking you out, they taking your life, all because they don't want to be responsible. So again, I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me at Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Again, I appreciate all of y'all for subscribing. Also, I have my co-ed channel for men and women, Cafe Mocha's Cafe de Paris channel. That's my channel for both men and women. If you have not subscribed to that, make sure that you subscribe to that channel. Again, if you want to donate, you want to cash out to my movement, I'm going to go ahead and put my cash app information in the link here. So for those of you who want to support my movement, contribute to my movement, you are more than welcome. Again, I appreciate each and every one of y'all for hanging out with me at Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Y'all have a wonderful Sunday, and until next time, y'all take care. Be blessed.